So how fast can you really charge a Tesla Model 3? Today we're going to try out a version 3 Supercharger and try to see how long it really takes to fast charge my Tesla Model 3. Thanks for watching Nick G on EVs, YouTube's cringiest electric vehicle YouTube channel. Today we're going to do some fast charging and also talk about how to answer people when they ask you how long it takes to fast charge your EV. So the first thing friends, family, strangers usually ask me about the car is, how long does it take to charge? And I usually have to tell them, well, it depends. It depends on a number of different factors, maybe more than you'd ever realize, like what kind of chargers you're using, the kind of car you're in, even down to the weather that day. So all of those factors combined make for vastly different experiences. When you're comparing that to a gasoline vehicle, the experience is the same for pretty much any car anywhere. You just fill up and go. But with EVs, you have a number of different options and different ways to charge. But when people ask me how long it takes to fast charge or how long it takes to charge an EV, I'll usually give them numbers related to DC fast charging. DC fast charging is something that homeowners who have access to regular charging at home won't really do all that often. You'll usually just fast charge when you're on trips, like road trips. But for people who might live in an apartment or need to rely on the Tesla Supercharger network or other DC fast charging networks to quickly top up their vehicle, fast charging is a really good option to fill up your battery rather quickly. You don't want to do that all the time because it could damage your battery in the long run, but in a pinch, DC fast charging can't be beat. So how about you drive along with me to the closest version 3 Supercharger and we'll see how long it takes to charge up my car. So this Culver City version 3 Supercharger bank is in this like mixed use apartment building / retail building. There's not a ton of stuff here, honestly, so it's kind of a challenge. It looks like we are actually gonna have to wait here, so that's awkward. The Supercharger map lied. I'm actually second in line here to charge. So that is a reality you'll have to face with DC fast charging, is wait times to get a charger. But hopefully I don't have to wait here very long since these chargers are so quick. I've arrived here with 21% battery, which is a good thing because you want to be at a lower state of charge to charge quicker. I'm not really qualified to explain all of the physics or electronic stuff behind it, but basically a good analogy is pouring water into a cup. You can pour it a little bit faster when it's empty, but when you're getting close to the top, you want to slow down so you don't overfill it. So I'll wait for my turn and then we'll plug in here at the Supercharger. So it's 5:46 p.m. I just plugged in my car at 21% state of charge. We're already at 22, so I'm gonna try to set up this camera again to show you all what that looks like. All right, so we're here charging up, 25 minutes remaining. So I'm trying not to talk too much and make too much color commentary, but we're not really getting the peak charging speeds that I'd like to see. We're only at 118 kilowatt right now, so let's see if that ramps up a little bit more. All right, 3 minutes in and we've already got like 9% back. That's pretty fast still. Maybe we don't need to see the 250 kilowatt peak actually. All right, 6 minutes in, we've hit 157 kilowatt. I'm guessing my battery was just a little bit cold after preconditioning on the drive over here and then waiting in line to charge. So we'll give it a couple more minutes here to ramp up to peak charging levels. Oh, cool. Yeah, it hasn't been recording anything, has it? We're almost at 10 minutes in, and I've given up on using that little camera mount because it just keeps moving. So I'm sorry I won't get you guys a good time lapse here, but just gonna check in every couple minutes. So it's been 10 minutes since we plugged in. We've got 26% state of charge put back in the battery. We still haven't seen those peak 250 kilowatt charging levels, but as you're seeing here, it's not really that big of a deal. Right, so it's 6:01, 15 minutes into our charge, and we're at 57% state of charge. That's a 36% increase in 15 minutes. So if I wanted to leave just like right now, I'd have around 202 miles of range. So that's enough to get me like down to San Diego and almost all the way back. So when you're road tripping, usually you're just going to be hopping from charger to charger, but I'm going to stick around a little bit longer so I can get closer to 80% and have enough range for me to drive around and do what I need to do for the foreseeable future. All right, so we're 20 minutes in. It's 6:06 now. We're at 66% state of charge, so 45% added in 20 minutes. That's not too bad. It's estimating another 9 minutes left to get to 80%. We're getting pretty slow charging speeds compared to what they advertise. I'm not sure why that would be the case. I thought that version 3s were not shared, but maybe that's not the case. It's really busy here today, so maybe we've just overloaded the generator for the time being or something like that. It's also like peak electricity hours, so maybe they're throttling it back or something, who knows. But this is still charging pretty quickly for less than optimal conditions. So we're at 24 minutes in, and we've put in 50% state of charge, well, not 51, so that's good to see. It looks like we're gonna be pretty close to the estimated time to reach 80% here. So we're now at 75% with 3 minutes remaining. We've put in 42 kilowatt hours. So we're still not reaching, we never really reached the peak charging limits. Looks like we're gonna be done in 30 minutes here as opposed to 25 minutes, but that's still pretty good for not advertised charging rates. So 30 minutes is probably the worst case scenario for what you could expect for charging up your electric vehicle if you get a decent charger that can go above 150 kilowatts for any period of time. So here we are, 31 minutes in, we finished charging up to 80%. Definitely not the best conditions here for the Culver City V3 Supercharger. We never really hit those peak rates, but not too bad nonetheless. You can tell people it takes around 30 minutes to get you the charge that you need for your EV. All right, I'm gonna go unplug and not get idle fees. So if you stuck with me this long through the video, thank you very much. I'd really appreciate it if you went ahead and liked and subscribed. So today we learned that on average, it'll take around 30 minutes to fast charge your electric vehicle. If people are asking you, well, how long does it take to charge? You could tell them worst case scenario to get the most charge I would need for a long while, or at least for another 275 miles, around 30 minutes. So that's pretty easy to do. You just pull up to the supercharger, plug in, and chill for around 30 minutes. You could even unplug sooner than that if you only needed around 50% to 75% state of charge. Really, the top 20% or the top 15% up to 80% takes the longest. So if you want to unplug earlier, no shame in doing that. I'm still not really sure what happened with the supercharger there today. Maybe I got a bad stall. Maybe there's something wrong with the chargers. We might have to go back there at another time late at night to do a little bit of redemption for that supercharger. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.